So welcome back to another episode of Future Money. Hope you guys had a great week. We had a great weekend. XRP, Bitcoin, Cardano went up 60% this weekend. Solana went up a lot, all due to Trump announcing Bitcoin strategic reserve. Now, this is exactly what we've been talking about over the last few weeks here on Future Money. We've been talking about how Brad Garlinghouse was lobbying the White House, how he was lobbying the Trump family, how he was lobbying senators to make sure that XRP would be first in that reserve. Now, a lot of Bitcoin maxis. Now, for those you don't know, a Bitcoin maxi is a person who believes that Bitcoin should be the only crypto on the planet, and every other crypto should be wiped out. Michael Saylor is a Bitcoin maxi. I have a best friend that's a Bitcoin maxi. There's nothing wrong with being a Bitcoin maxi, but I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I believe that there's a place in the market for multiple cryptocurrencies, just like there's a place for multiple operating systems. I hate Macs. I don't like Macs. I got an iPad, but that's as far as I'll take it. I got an iPhone too, because everybody else has one. You have to get one just to do AirDrop and all this stuff. I resisted getting Apple for years, but I refuse to get a MacBook. I'll stick with Windows, what I'm used to. But a lot of people, there's a lot, in any marketplace, there's a room for different things. There always has been. There's not one market on the planet where one thing suffices for all users or all participants. And I believe that this is how it's going to be with crypto going forward. I don't think we're going to just have one cryptocurrency, but Bitcoin maxis are mad because Trump has done a 180, not completely, but within the world of crypto. And instead of just doing a Bitcoin strategic reserve, he's decided to add other cryptocurrencies. Now, if you've been following Future Money, you know that we've been talking about this for 2 weeks. There was a reason why Brad Garlinghouse was in Trump's office. There was a reason why he was getting appointed to things. There was a reason why all of a sudden the Bitcoin strategic reserve was pushed back a month and a half. Because Brad Garlinghouse was making sure he had his company's interest at the top of mind of Trump. A lot of people get mad. He shouldn't be doing that. Oh, why did he do it? A lot of Bitcoin maxis are so angry. Angry because Brad Garlinghouse did what he was supposed to do. He's a CEO. He's not a politician. He's not an activist. He's a businessman and a CEO. And he has to do what's best for his investors, his co-workers, and anybody that has interest in Ripple moving forward. That's what he's supposed to do, right? That's what he's supposed to do. Give me 1 second. He's supposed to make sure his company is at top of mind. And a lot of people did not see this coming. I don't get why. They didn't see it coming. Now, you got a picture with Brad Garlinghouse at the White House like this, next to Trump, and you don't know that this is coming. I mean, I don't see how people didn't see it coming, but a lot of people didn't see it, especially Bitcoin maxis. I had a friend that argued with me up until he did it, that there was no way that Trump would add any other crypto in the strategic reserve because it was called Bitcoin strategic reserve. But you have to remember, and I'm a person who's a realist. Now, I like what Trump has done so far for crypto. I like some stuff he's done for the economy. But I'm not all the way on any one politician or any one person at all. Some of you guys are, but I'm not. I see the world for what it is. The world is full of manipulation, pay for play, money changing hands, people cutting each other's throats. Now, I'm not all negative either. The world is also full of great people. Most people are beautiful, great human beings. Most people in power are manipulative, they're sociopaths, and they also go for what's best for them. Now, a realist approaches this way of thinking and says, well, Trump's son, I don't think Trump's doing, but Trump's son probably taking money. I mean, he looks like it, you know. So if Brad Garlinghouse gives him a little money, which it could be illegal, could not, there's a gray area with that kind of stuff, or promises something in the future, of course he's going to get in Trump's ear and make sure XRP is top of mind. Brilliant move by Brad Garlinghouse. He played both sides. his business partner or a former business partner gave some money to the Democrats. He gave some money to the Republicans on both sides. Now, once the election took place, Trump was elected. They took all that effort and put it right on Trump. Probably went through the son. That's what I would have done. Went through Eric Trump, made sure that I had Eric Trump's here, gave him some money or gave him something. I don't know what else. I don't know what his vices are, whatever it is. Gave him something, made sure he got in Trump's ear, and made sure my company, Ripple, and his asset, XRP, was top of mind and the first thing they would include in their strategic reserve. That would ensure that my company would, one, the value would go up. Two, is that if the United States has a vested interest in XRP because they hold it as a reserve currency or reserve asset, they're not going to allow Ripple to fail. That's why this news is so big. I don't even believe that the market has completely absorbed how big this news is. I don't believe that people really realize it, right? Because it's easy. If we look at the fear rate, the greed fear ratio, greed fear index in cryptocurrency. Let's see where it's at right now. The fear and greed index is still at 39. Now it takes time for it to come out of what, where it was before, but it's still, let me get this. Here we go. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's right here. The fear index is still 39, which is still mostly fear. A lot of people are still apprehensive. They don't believe what they're hearing. Cryptocurrency has shocked the world over the last 15 years. A lot of people still don't know how to take it. They don't know how to understand it. A lot of traditional investors are still afraid of it. That's what gives us this huge opportunity to make a lot of money. And it's only going to come once. It'll be over eventually. There'll be no opportunity to make money like this in your entire life again, because AI will take over all trade in 5 to 10 years. I'm actually writing about that in my new book. AI will reduce any inefficiency in the system. You want to make $10 on a trade, AI will make a few cents. So as soon as it ticks up, they'll sell. Ticks down, they'll sell, because the lines will be so tight that there'll be no way to make any money on either side of the volatility. Because AI will not only predict what's coming next, but they'll be able to take advantage of small changes, maybe fractions of a penny, over longer periods of time. So that would cause trading is not going to be, humans are not going to be able to, humans are not going to be able to compete in that environment. Too slow. Only people with huge AI bots, and then eventually AI will just do it all together. So somebody says, will XRP get to 25 this year? That's a good chance it could. I still believe it can get there. We got 963 people liking, but only 100 likes. I need you guys to like the content, please. And also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I appreciate the comment, LSKII. Thank you. Also, if you made money on XRP, you could drop a super chat. I would really appreciate that. Or you could do a membership. It's like Patreon, where you pay $3, $4 a month to help keep all of this going. This is a very expensive studio. I don't know if you know. Every episode is like $1,000. So if you guys would give me some super chats, it would cover some of the cost. I cover most of it still. There's no way I get $1,000 an episode, but maybe one day. But you guys would help out some. But back to what I was saying is that there's a few things hanging over the world of crypto. Now, we have an interview with the CEO of Hive Mining, one of my good friends, Frank Holmes. It's going to come on at the end of the hour. It's pre-recorded. It was recorded on Friday. So he's going to talk about why mining stocks haven't gotten as far as they have in the past, and what we can look for on stocks like Mara, Hive, Riot, and other mining stocks, and where we can possibly profit from those going forward, and why they haven't correlated with Bitcoin so far like they have in previous cycles. So somebody said, I'm new. Let me see. I appreciate the super chat, Taiwana. Thank you so much for that $1.99 super chat. I really appreciate that. So there's a few things hanging over the world of Bitcoin, right? Is that Bitcoin went way up over the last 2 days, but that also creates a problem. And I want to explain to you what the CME gap is. Now, the CME gap is a phenomenon in Bitcoin specifically, but it's also in other markets. But it happens more often with Bitcoin because it's a 24-hour market. So what happens is that there's a difference in price. Now, the CME is the mercantile exchange in Chicago. Now, they trade commodities, they trade a lot of other things. They trade mineral rights, they trade precious metals, they trade most commodities, but they also trade Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, but that market is a traditional market, which means it's open only on the weekdays. Monday through Friday, closed at, I believe, at 4 or 5 o'clock in Chicago. If you ever watched Ferris Bueller, they went to there and they watched all the people trading. And remember that dude was doing all the hand signals trying to copy the traders on the floor? That was the CME exchange, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So what happens is that market closes at Friday at, I think, 4 o'clock. I believe so. I could be wrong, but I believe so. So what happens is that if Bitcoin does anything crazy over the weekend, let's say Bitcoin gets to 94 like it did, 93, 94 yesterday. Now there's a gap. So it closed on Friday at 85, opens back up at 94. Now the traders get there in the morning and they say, wow, Bitcoin's up almost $10,000. There was a candle that went up $10,000. There's an opportunity to short this. It all happens because of group psychology. Everybody at once said, there's no way this is sustainable. So let's short this back down to the 85,000 where it was on Friday. And also some mechanisms in the market also cause this to happen. Because Friday's closed, people think it went up too high. It's going to look like it's overbought. So a lot of people are going to come on and push it down. Whenever there's a big jump in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency like that happens over the weekend, that normally is a drawdown. So we're probably going to see that with cryptocurrency. That doesn't mean that the strategic reserve did not work or did not have any effect. It means that that gap has to be closed before it continues on to 100. Now the gap it doesn't mean it's going back down to 85, but it means that there will be a retracement or a little bit of a pullback on the way to 100,000. It's going back to all-time highs in a month, maybe 2 months. But because of that gap, we may see some hesitation going forward because the CME gap does cause it caused a record-breaking gap in CME futures. And it's often a signal that the price could retrace to fill it. So we got a few more other things we're going to talk about today. I'm actually pretty happy today. So the fear and greed index is still in fear. Despite the rally, investor sentiment is hesitant, suggesting room for further upside if confidence returns. Bitcoin is right now about, let's go to the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin right now is at about 92,000. Let me bring the other chart up because that was done this morning. I don't know where Bitcoin's actually at right now. Let's bring the chart up on the screen. The Bitcoin's actually at 90, right under 91. So we're seeing some of that retracement right now. The CME gap has to be filled. It's Monday morning. The CME people woke up and said, wow, what a great opportunity to short this. But those shorts are going to wash out eventually. They're going to make a little bit of money on the retracement. We make it down to 88, 85. No, we're not going down to 85. We make it down to 88, 87. But then we'll continue on to 100, 110,000. We'll be back at all-time highs before, what's today? Say April. By the beginning of May, we'll be back at all-time. We'll be past all-time highs in Bitcoin and more than likely Ethereum as well. So if we look at Bitcoin's chart, so we have a major correction down to 79. We had a major correction down to, we got to 79,000. Bitcoin has received a strong bounce off its major support line that we've been talking about for weeks. The bounce comes as Trump's announcement announces a major strategic reserve development. That's why technical analysis sometimes will precede the news. So this is almost exactly what we said would happen. So I want to talk a little bit about Michael Saylor's strategy. He's almost at 500,000 Bitcoins. I'm gonna tell you how that's dangerous. Before we do that, I need you guys to please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And I would really appreciate if you guys would like the video and also drop a super chat. We got another one. When will your semi-annual price remain the same? Will your semi-annual CNC price remain the same? Not after we raise the price. You got about 3 weeks to get it at this price. But once you get in, you'll be locked in at that price forever. So you won't have to change that. The CMC is a trading group, it's a community. We talk about stocks, long-term, short-term, swing trades, both in crypto and stocks. But we also do other things. We have live events. We have virtual sessions. We also do entrepreneurship, real estate. I bring in some of the best individuals all over the world to sit and chat with us to talk about how they became rich, insights into markets, insights into business, how they can get ahead faster and make a lot more money along the way, and also mindset. We do all of that in the CNC. We have a live event in New York, a casino night, next month. So if you're in the CNC, you come to those events free. We have them all over the country. So it's a great, people have made a lot of money. If you're in the CNC, you've been making money, or if you've changed your life in the CNC. I want you to drop the money bags in the chat. We got one, Armando, last night you offered me confidence on the long-term future of Palantir. Please offer us your genuine opinion on NVIDIA like you did with Palantir. Yeah, I'll do that at the end of the hour, but I want to get through this crypto stuff beforehand. We will talk about Palantir, we'll talk about SoundHound as well. And I'll add in NVIDIA when we talk about SoundHound. Somebody says, you've been talking about the prices going up for the longest time. Yeah, the reason why I haven't raised the price, I'm gonna tell you why, is because about a month ago, I decided to do a new app, maybe 2 months ago. So we've been getting a new app developed. And I didn't believe that it was fair to double the price until the app got developed. So I would have doubled the price in January 1st, like I said I would. But I promise you on March 22nd, I'm gonna raise the price to 147. It's 97 now because we have the new app. But I didn't think it was fair to have, unless we had the new app to have, because it's gonna be a little bit, it's not gonna have 100% for the next 3 weeks. So I think you deserve a lower entry price because of that. That's the reason why I haven't changed the price. But I am changing the price, I promise you that. So we got another one, super chat. Somebody says, I saw 2 of them, where'd it go? Here we go. $20, I appreciate you, Clay Q. Thank you for all your information. Time to join the CNC from South Africa. We got a lot of international people. We got a lot of celebrities and athletes in there too, but you're not gonna know who they are, but there's a lot of celebrities in there too. They use different names. Can't express my gratitude for you, CNC. Y'all do to keep us informed, educated. What I'm learning from my son for the future. I appreciate the $49.99. Remember the CNC? Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about Michael Saylor put up a tweet saying that he was 94 Bitcoin away from holding 500,000 Bitcoin. I'm not happy about that. I don't think that's something we should be cheering on. And first I want to talk about one thing before we talk about that, is that a lot of people, they misunderstand what the term decentralized means, right? Is that I'm not talking about decentralization. A lot of people say, well, I thought Bitcoin was supposed to be decentralized, but a few people hold all the Bitcoin. That has nothing to do with being decentralized. Decentralized means the technology underlying Bitcoin is decentralized. That means no one person, organization, or group has any undue influence over that system. That's what decentralized means. In a decentralized network that's asset driven, like Bitcoin, you can have one person have all the coins and it still be decentralized. Because the technology is decentralized. It has nothing to do with who owns the coins, but I still think it's dangerous for a company or a man to have that many Bitcoins. Remember, it's only 21 million. 500,000 is roughly 2.5% of all Bitcoin in existence. Maybe 3% because we haven't got them all yet. And some are lost. He knows where all his are at. I believe that like 2 or 3 million are lost forever. There's a guy right now that has almost 1 million Bitcoin that's in a dump somewhere that he's trying to buy the dump so he can to dig it up and try to find this drive full of Bitcoins. It's worth billions of dollars. A lot of Bitcoins, I know I lost Bitcoins early in the days. I know I did because I didn't know what I was doing. And you got to remember, back in those days, we didn't know, we had paper wallets. Let's say, for example, you'd get a private key, public key, you put a QR code on the front of the paper, you put a QR code on the back of the paper, you fold that paper down to cover the private key, public key on the outside. That's how you made deposits into your wallet. Now, if that got burnt up or waterlogged or one of the characters got scratched off, and two characters, you figure out one, but two characters or three characters, or you spill coffee on it, those Bitcoin are lost forever. You will never retrieve those. You don't have the private key anymore. So in the early days, I would say millions of Bitcoin are lost. XRP, millions and millions of XRP are lost. That's why I don't believe in market caps. That market cap says that it takes the price that you see on the screen and multiplies it by every XRP in existence or every Bitcoin in existence. And then say this is the market cap. Now with stocks, we know where all the stocks are. We're not missing 1 million shares of NVIDIA. We know where every share of NVIDIA and who owns it. Every single share is tracked through the SEC regulations or whatever. That we know where they all are. We can't just lose 1 million shares of NVIDIA. That's why that market cap makes sense. In Bitcoin, we could have lost 3, 4, 5 million of Bitcoin. Nobody would know. There's no way we would know that for sure. Satoshi has 1 million Bitcoin locked up. We don't know if those are lost or he's just holding it. We don't know. So that's why I don't believe, that's one of the reasons I don't believe market cap applies to cryptocurrency. But one man having that many crypto, or that many Bitcoin is dangerous. 500,000, he could crash the market whenever he wants to. That's 3% of all Bitcoin in existence. But it also tells you how the rich, the elite, and the banks are buying Bitcoin up and how there's been a manipulation of this whole system for years. They've tricked you to make you see it as not anything viable. They've tricked you to make you believe that this is nothing, this is a scam. All the while, they were buying it up. The government's starting to buy it with the strategic reserve. You think the government is stupid? They've been buying it beforehand. I got a friend that actually says, and I don't know how true this is. I'm just telling you what he says. I haven't even looked into this. But I have a friend that's convinced that Michael Saylor is a proxy for the US government to buy up Bitcoin. Now it could be, could not, I don't know. I'm just putting that out there because I want you to know is that the government is almost certainly, governments all over the world, not just the US government, almost certainly buying Bitcoin off the record because of what's called game theory. If they signal that they're buying Bitcoin, like the United States, all of a sudden we're going to do a strategic reserve. You don't think all the other countries are going to copy that strategy? So if America was smart, if they were smart, they would have bought it years ago or kept the Bitcoin that they seized. So now they can announce it and they have a lot of these Bitcoins at a lower cost. And a lot of countries, a lot of nations are doing that right now. That's a smart move. But Michael Saylor has a lot of Bitcoin. And that's why I believe that by the time regular people figure this out and they feel safe enough to invest in cryptocurrency, the rich, the elite, and the banks are going to control it. And that's the saddest thing about cryptocurrency is that a lot of marginal communities, poor people from poor areas of the country, poor areas of the world, certain ethnic groups, certain racial groups, could have changed their entire communities with this. They could have changed everything. And I've been talking about this for 10 years, begging people to listen. A lot of you guys have listened. A lot of you guys have changed your life. People come to me all the time in the street, Armando, you changed my life by exposing me to this. You changed my life. And I could have changed entire communities, but people didn't listen back then. And I'm not trying to be preaching nothing here, but that was the biggest opportunity and it changed my life. I was dang near bankrupt at 32. I used to drive home, and I'm being vulnerable here. I never have held anything back from y'all. I remember right before I discovered Bitcoin, I had a company, a software company, but it was failing pretty bad. I was losing like $500 a day. I was losing. I would go to work 9 hours and lose money. Now imagine how hard that is on your psyche. Every time I went to work, like they say, that's hustling backwards. I was literally going to work and I'd walk out that day, $500 going out of my account. I wasn't making nothing the last 2 years. I was losing money. So I discovered Bitcoin. It changed my life. First, I was developing on Bitcoin. I didn't think it was an investment, but I made a bunch of money just doing that. And then secondly, I started investing and it changed my life completely. even what I'm doing today with you good folks, is because of cryptocurrency. It took me out of, I had a $70,000 student loan. I was in so much debt. You know, I had to pay myself through college. So came from a poor family. My mom was a janitor at my school. So we got school for half price, but she didn't start working until my junior year. My brother got all 4 years, but she didn't start working. So I had to pay the first 2 years, and I was in school 5 years. I got a double degree. So it ended up being $70,000. Then I went to grad school. So crypto changed all of that for me, made me who I am today. So it could have changed a lot of other people, but the rich, the elite, the banks kept it away from you, the power of cryptocurrency, because they wanted to control it. And we see it with Michael Saylor, how they're trying to control it. We see with the government, all of a sudden, Trump actually came out against crypto in December of 17. And now he's all for it. Now, you could say, well, he came around, or you could say he always knew. He knew all along, or his people knew, and they asked him to do that so they can control it. And I believe if I can understand the power of cryptocurrency, you don't think people in the government can? You don't think the scientists can? They understood it too. They just had to keep you away from it. So we got 1,200 people in there. Oscar, I appreciate the super chat. Bridget, I really thank you for that. Czar, thank you for the super chat. I don't know if that's dollars or it says Czar. I'm sorry, Clylie Q. I appreciate that so much. We have so much conviction because Armando is good at explaining. I really appreciate that. So I want to talk a little bit about this U.S. crypto reserve. Then we're going to talk about the Bybit hackers, what's going on with that right now. Then we're going to talk about Ethereum and how I think that that's a good buy right now. Then we're going to finish talking about SoundHound, NVIDIA, and then we're going to go into that Hive interview. We'll talk about why mining stocks haven't done as well as they have in previous cycles. Now, that's one of the things I missed. I'm saying, like, a lot of people track my call outs. I think the last track was 93% correct, with a ridiculous gain. Now, anybody in the chat can prove that. I mean, I'm not, because I talk about everything. I don't, like some people call it 30 stocks. I only stick on, like I'm going to talk about SoundHound again today. I only talk about 3 or 4 stocks and 3 or 4 cryptos at a time. You know, that's all I talk about. I'm not one person that tells like a stock a day and say, look at that stock that went up. I don't do that. But I did miss CleanSpark. I did miss the mining stocks. Now, I think I was just too early and I missed the timeline, but being too early is still wrong because somebody may have taken out, I took out options and I lost money on those options. So I was wrong on those. I was wrong on the timelines. That's one of the 10 I was wrong on. And like I said, I will show you my losses. I will admit when I was wrong. I was wrong on Mirror. I was wrong on Riot. And I was wrong on CleanSpark in 2023. I thought at the end of this year, we would have a 10 times gain on those options. Now we had 3 or 4 times gain. I got out of some of those, but the other 2 I took a loss on. Some people got out and made money, but it's still my overall thesis was wrong on those. But we're going to talk to my good friend Frank Holmes. He's going to explain why and where Bitcoin's going from here. So Trump did announce a crypto strategic reserve. He changed it from the Bitcoin strategic reserve, which he talked about at the Bitcoin conference in 2024 in Nashville. I was there, I saw him. The Bitcoin executive order establishes a U.S. strategic crypto reserve, marking a shift from a stockpile to an actively managed reserve. Now, one of the biggest things the scariest thing about this is, remember, Bybit got hacked. Bybit is the second biggest exchange in the world. Now, the government better have some good cybersecurity and crypto blockchain people, because that's a big target. Now, if I was the government, I don't really know how they're going to do it. I'm sure they have some of the smart people. They're going to figure it out, but that's a big, big target, because whoever has the private keys can run off with the Bitcoin. In other countries, if North Korea tried to hack Bybit, imagine what they're going to try to do with the U.S. government. And remember, they had cold storage. Cold storage means it's not connected to the internet. I don't know how they did that. They said social engineering. So they're going to have some serious safety protocols, security protocols in place to protect that strategic reserve, because North Korea is coming forward. They have some of the best hackers in the world. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm sure, hopefully they will, and they know what they're doing. But that's going to be a big target. That's going to be one of the risk points going forward. But over time, things get more secure. So eventually we'll have security mechanisms, software, hardware in place that this thing's almost impossible to happen. But for the meantime, because the U.S. is so early still, there's going to be a big, big threat. If the United States lost $1 billion worth of crypto, that's going to look bad. That will look bad. So hopefully they have the right minds in place. So we got 2 more super chats. Do you think the price will get to set overnight? Are we looking for a case settlement by 2015? We'll talk about that case settlement too. We'll talk about that. Some of us been holding since 2016 and it feels like forever. Yeah, that's a long time to hold. I wasn't even in XRP back then. I hated it back then. Some of you guys know the story, but I'm not going to go back into that today. Thank you for the opportunity to learn game from one of the best. I appreciate you, Jose. Thank you for the super chat. So the reserve is going to include Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. Now, I talked about Cardano 3-4 days ago. People think it's a dead coin. It's not dead. But the funny thing is that when I knew that Trump was going to include Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you can look at my post that I posted yesterday morning. I put a post that said Trump's starting a crypto reserve. He listed XRP as first. The next one was a video. And I said, Trump is going to add Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano to the strategic reserve. The first few messages I got were, he never said anything about Bitcoin. You're a liar. He didn't say that. And you know those corporate dudes come out, oh, he didn't say that about Bitcoin wasn't included on the list. I'm sick of you influencers always telling things that just aren't true. They came for me right after that. I'm just sick of your lies. Unsubscribed. Why you gotta tell me you're unsubscribed? Just leave. I'm not forcing you to be here. Unsubscribe. I'm sick of you guys. I don't know what you guys mean, but see, they tell me that all the time. And then an hour later, Trump revised the message, and he said, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to include Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then all those messages stopped. Now, I knew he was going to include Bitcoin and Ethereum because it didn't make sense for him not to. That's why I concluded it in the video. Even though it wasn't in the original message, but it was obvious he was going to include. Why would he just turn down Bitcoin? That's stupid. The U.S. already has reserves of Bitcoin through the Bitcoin that they seized over the years. So, of course, they're going to do that. Why would they just not add that they already have at cheap prices? At free prices. They got it at zero. So, of course, they're going to add Bitcoin and Ethereum. The XRP ledger is built on Ethereum, so they have to include that. So I knew that, but then all that stopped after that. So thank you for all you do, Corey. I appreciate the super chat, Corey. Thank you. Randy, will the mining stocks recover? We're going to talk about that. End of the hour. Been a follower for years. Thank you. Love the Puerto Rican flag. Thank you for being transparent. I appreciate you. Iron Ghost. So Trump did, but I knew he was going to add Bitcoin and Ethereum, but the key is, that's not the key. The key is that he listed XRP first. Now, I said this last night on my Strategy Sunday, is that Trump that's why you have to watch people. Trump is a stream of consciousness dude. There's different personality types. I know people like him. A lot of CEOs are like him. They just, whatever's in their mind, it's from head to mouth. Brain to mouth, brain to mouth. And that works for people that are high functioning like him. The dude's 75 going like a 20-year-old, never stopping. I mean, the dude is a high performer. It works for him. But if you watch him, he tells you what he's going to do. He leans on the podium, talking. He's telling you exactly what he's doing. He has no filter. So he went on Twitter and just typed it out. The first thing in his mind was XRP. That's why he put XRP first, because Brad Garlinghouse has been getting to him for months. That's the reason why XRP was first. Now, after he posted it out there, remember, Trump took a lot of money from Bitcoiners. He went to the Bitcoin conference. He got, I think, $10 million to speak at that conference. He also had an $800,000 plate dinner at that conference. I'm not paying that. I would have liked to go, but I'm not paying $800,000. That's crazy. Maybe I should have paid, because now those same people are being invited to the White House on Friday. Somebody told me, yeah, you should have paid for that. He told me that this week, but I'm sorry. I'm a poor boy from Tennessee. I can't pay $800,000 for a dinner with nobody. I'm sorry. Maybe one day, but I can't do that now. That's a lot of money. But I'd pay 50. I may pay 75. I may even pay 100. But I wouldn't pay no 100 to 800. If I knew I was going to talk to him or any president, it didn't matter who it was, I'd probably pay 100. That's the most I'd go right now. But XRP was top of mind. And that was the most important thing, is that XRP was top of mind. Now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all those other coins are going to do well. Cardano actually went up the most because it was depressed the most. So it actually went up 60% in one day. So what's happened so far is that Brad Garlinghouse has been appointed to the Crypto Advisory Board. He's going to be at that dinner on Friday. XRP has been added to the reserves. The SEC has dropped, I think, 7 or 8 cases against major crypto people, including Coinbase. The writing's on the wall that XRP's lawsuit is going to be dropped soon, within a couple of weeks. Now, I did get a tip last week that it will be this week, but it may not happen this week, maybe next week. But it has to happen. At this point, it's almost a definite. They can't add something to the strategic reserve and have a dude on the board when his asset is in a lawsuit. Now, they have to close the lawsuit down, and it does take time because this is the biggest crypto lawsuit in history. So they have to close it down, debrief people, sign the right papers, sign the right documents, and make sure everything is disposed properly. That does take time. What do you think that emergency meeting was on Thursday, last week? That's when they sat down and came up with an agreement. That's when they started the disposing process of that lawsuit. That's when it started. That's when it started, was on Thursday. Because Trump said, look, I'm going to add you to the reserve, so let's start getting this lawsuit winded down and wrapped up. That's what happened. But now it may take a week, too. They're not in any rush. But the lawsuit almost at this point has to be 100% resolved, and Ripple has to be allowed to be free on their path because of being added to the strategic reserve. So Bernard, thank you for the super chat. We got another one up here. Corey, again, thank you. So if we get 10 super chats, I'll tell you guys a play that I see forming right now in the market at the end of the hour. A crypto. So I'll put it up there. So we need 15 for me to drop that. I dropped it in the CNC last night. It actually is doing well right now. But I'll tell you guys. Let's see what happens. CNC's already got it, or I'll tell you on the next episode. Let's say that. I'll tell you on the next episode. It still will be good because we got like a month left on that. So after that, Trump announced the strategic reserve. Bitcoin surged 10% up to 94,000. XRP jumped 33%. I think at one point it was up 38%. Solana jumped 25%. ADA surged 60%. Ethereum rebounded. It was down that day. It's been one of the worst performing cryptos of the year. We're going to talk about how that's actually a great opportunity. White House Crypto Summit is on Friday, expected to provide more details on the reserve's purpose and strategy. So we're going to see some good news come out of that on Friday. So hopefully they can resolve this SEC lawsuit this week, maybe next week. But those two things together, along with the Bitcoin crypto strategic reserve, is going to push XRP past all-time highs. It's going to push Ethereum back to all-time highs, and it's going to push Bitcoin back over $100,000 here in the next month, maybe 6 weeks. And all of this will legitimize crypto finally as a key financial asset for the United States. Now let's talk about these Bybit hackers. Let's talk about Ethereum. Let's talk about SoundHound, and then we're going to end with the interview with the founder, Frank Holmes, of Hive Mining, one of the biggest crypto miners in the world. I'm going to start bringing a lot of my connections on here too. But we're still getting through. This is the first month, so we got a whole new setup in here. I wish you guys could see it. We got lights, we got LED screen, we got new computers up here. We got a touch screen, so I can actually like circle stuff. I got to start doing that more, but see, I can circle stuff on the thing. I don't know if you can see it back there. Like Bitcoin's at 80,000. We're going here, but we gotta also mimic it to the screen because a lot of people can't see it behind me. So like I said, the CNC is still open. We've made a lot of money in the CNC. CNC is a chestnut checkers group. It's a community. It's a group, a trading group. We do day trading, live trading. We got swing trades, long-term trades. We also do entrepreneurship, mindset. We do a lot of things there. People have changed their lives. $97 a month. You can get a huge discount if you get it for the whole year. So I encourage you guys to take a look at it. Join the CNC.com. Somebody put it in the chat for me. And also, you can DM me the word CNC on Instagram and I'll send you a link. Or it's the link. It's also in these comments here. So Giselle, Maria, Armando, please, when you get a chance, what's the best and safe wallet to store crypto and how does it work? For long, I keep it on Coinbase. Well, I like Trezor. I like Arculus. Those are my two favorites. Bernard, thank you, Bernard. Tumbling Tim, I already got that play yesterday at the after party, but the more investors in it, the better. I appreciate that. We'll see. But if we get 15, I'll drop the play. And that was a good play. Didn't you made money already, didn't you, Tumbling? I want to hear you say, you're probably already up 10, 15% since last night if you bought it. But it's going to continue. It'll be a 3 times gain here in the next month. For people in the CNC, we'll send out that video to everybody after I get off live. So Bybit hackers, for those you don't know, there was a huge hack in cryptocurrency last week. $1.5 billion worth of Ethereum and Ethereum-based tokens were stolen from the exchange. So that caused a lot of fear in the market, a lot of uncertainty. Ethereum took a deep hit because of that. Ethereum took a huge hit because of that. So Ethereum was already depressed. The prior weeks leading up to that was a 500% increase in shorts. That's why I think it was manipulation. I'm going to tell you why also I think it's manipulation too. I'm almost certain that that hack is not real. Because the things are lining up too perfectly, and I'm going to explain these to you. Hardy, I appreciate the chat, Hardy, thank you. We got another one here, let me see. Tumlin, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hardy, I thank you. Vivian Sosa, thank you. Posh Picks Boutique asking if we can get the play today. Yeah, I'll send it to all the CNC members. Thank you, Posh Picks. I appreciate the super chat. So North Korean hackers broke into Bybit, stole Ethereum and Ethereum-based tokens. So that caused people to panic, sell, brought Bitcoin down to 85, 84, brought Ethereum almost down to 2,000, brought a lot of other coins down. As people felt like maybe cryptocurrency isn't secure, and they also feared that the hackers would dump all of this on the marketplace, destabilizing it. Remember, if you stole crypto, you'll sell it for whatever. You don't care what the price is. It's free to you. You're just trying to get rid of it all. So that does cause the market to drop. So people were afraid of that. So they started selling. So the fear and also the action of selling large amounts at market will cause the price to significantly drop. But it didn't do it as much as I thought. Now, in previous Bitcoin cycles, Tumbling Tim, I haven't gotten the new play yet. Okay. My portfolio is up 50% since joining the CNC. That's good. Mercedes, thank you. I appreciate the super chat, Mercedes. So, like I said, North Korean hackers have started to launder the money. And they do that. We talked about this last week on mixers. They got ways of doing it that are very advanced that you never track them. They stole 500 Ethereum, 1.5 billion. They've already laundered or sold 70% of that. But the thing is that nobody's stopping them. The government hasn't come out and said anything about it. Remember, these are North Korean hackers who are using that money to fund a nuclear weapons program. This is a huge deal. And nobody's saying anything. Nobody's stopping them. There's no attempts to try to get the money back. There's actually teams out there that can contact hackers for you and try to make deals. Nobody's done that. That's why I believe it was manipulation. I'm not even sure if it really happened. Because look at the timeline. Let's look at the timeline. Let's look at the timeline. The timeline is 500% increase in shorts on Ethereum for the last 2-3 months. Trump delays the strategic reserve, which could have been because of XRP. We don't know the reason. I believe it was XRP, but it could have been because of this too. He delays the strategic reserve. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, $1.5 billion worth of crypto gets stolen. Remember, a lot of hedge funds, a lot of rich elite in the banks have shorts out that they make money on the way down. So they make a ridiculous amount of money on those Ethereum shorts. Ethereum drops, they close the shorts out, they make a lot of money, rebuy the Ethereum. Week later, Trump says, I'm going to do a strategic reserve, including Ethereum. Ethereum recovers, goes back to all-time highs. They make all their money back. They made money in 2 ways, down and up. Maybe 3 or 4, 10 times more than they would have made just holding Ethereum long term. And they knew the play, so it's no risk to them. When you know what's coming, the risk is zero. There was actually somebody that posted and said, right before Trump posted that, somebody took out somebody put $2.5 million, around that amount, into options or leverage trades on Bitcoin, which ended up being like 100 million or so. Maybe somewhere 100 million when you leverage it out. You may have put 2 million, did 50 times leverage, got 100 million. So if all it would have taken is Bitcoin to drop 0.25%, and that person would have got wiped out. And they did it right before the announcement. Trump announced it. Of course, Bitcoin spikes up. Dude closes his position, makes $6 million from 2 million. Because it's a leverage trade, you make a lot more. Because he was trading 100 million, even though it was all borrowed money, but he was trading 100 million. So he made $6 million off a $2 million trade, closed out sometime yesterday evening. Now, you don't think that dude knew that? That's a big thing to do, not knowing what's coming. Because if Bitcoin would have dropped a tiny bit, he would have got liquidated, lost it all. So he had to know something, or just got extraordinarily lucky. All of this is manipulated. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't participate in the market. I played pro basketball in Puerto Rico. I never would have made the NBA, but I did play with some NBA players that either were going on their way up to the NBA or on their way down back to us. So I played with a lot of NBA players. JJ Barea was our point guard. He played for Mavericks. He was a great player for many years. I played with him. Played with a lot of Olympics players too for the Puerto Rican national team. Palantir Hold, we'll talk about that at the end of the hour. Vivian, thank you for the super chat. Let me see if anybody else put one. I don't want to leave anybody out. Yeah, we already got Vivian. So in basketball, if you play basketball at a higher level, everybody's cheating. I mean, right now everybody walks. They hold the ball, they push off, grab your jerseys, step on your feet so you can't jump, dislodge you with their bodies. Coming off the screen, they push off around the screen. I used to set screens like this, and then when the dude was there, I'd grab his shirt. Like you see, I could grab it in my hand right here. So he tries to get away, and it'd be a jerk. That half a second let the point guard come around. Now I roll off, and I'm open. It was confusion. So whenever you play things at a high level, cheating is involved. Manipulation is involved. That's the way of the world. I look at that and say, well, that's crazy that they're doing that, but we got to look at it and say, how can I profit in that situation? And that's how you're supposed to look at it. Don't get angry. Oh, manipulation, they control everything. They don't let the little man get anything. Well, if you know that they're manipulating, watch how they do it and try to mimic their moves. That's how I made a lot of my money, is that understanding manipulation. I had my business partner, actually. He's still my business partner today. We have a lot of ventures. He was in stocks for many years, and I was a beginner 12, 13 years ago. And he's older than me. He took me under his wing and taught me about the manipulation side of stocks. And that was more eye-opening than any technical analysis I could ever get. Tell me, look, man, this is how the money moves around. This is how promoters work. This is how stocks are promoted. You pay this guy. You can't say this. This is how you know a stock is being promoted. This is how you know that it's being manipulated. This is how you know when they're going to do a second offering. This is how you know when there's a stock split coming, all of these things, which are types of manipulations, he taught me how to see around the corner. And that's why I can see now, and I really appreciate him for that. But like I said, is that nobody has stopped the hackers. There's been no efforts to stop them. That's why I still believe that this was somehow manipulated or some type of plan to get these hedge funds or somebody to make a bunch of money on Ethereum going down and on the way back up. But I still think Ethereum is probably in the top 10 cryptos. If we exclude XRP and Solana, and we look at the top 10, XRP probably has the highest potential out of all of those. Now, I kicked out XRP and Solana because it's probably a close second. XRP may be a close second to either one of those. I don't know yet. But because XRP has got a lot of its gains already. XRP was at 30 cents. It's already at what, 260? Let's see where it's at. So you got to remember is that 260. We started at 35 cents. So we're already up 8 times, 700% gain. So even if Ethereum, some kind of way, XRP goes to 20, that's a lot of money, but it goes to 20. That means that the people who got in at 30 cents, 40 cents, let's say 50 cents to be even, they're up 40 times. The people who get in now only up 10 times. Those people who got in earlier made 4 times as much money as you overall because they got in a year earlier. That's what I'm saying is that you still only made 25% of what they made. Most of the gains are gone. 75% of the gains are gone over the long term, right? I'm not saying where it's going to go. I'm saying if you got in at 50 cents and you ride it to 20, and let's say you sold, you're going to make 40 times your money. Every dollar you put in is now $40. Somebody else gets in now at $3, let's say, and it goes to 20. They made roughly 7 times their money. Every dollar they put in is turned to 7. So you got 40 times, they got 7. That's almost 5. That's like 6 times more money than they made. So they only made about roughly 16, 17% of what you made. That's what I mean when I say most of the gains are going with XRP in this cycle because of that. If you're still holding, you got in at low, you still can make a lot of money. You still can make 7 times your money, but if you got in at 50 cents, you're extraordinarily lucky. With Ethereum, we still could be early. It's at 2,200 last time I looked. I think it's at 23. We could go to 10,000, so that's a 4 times gain, right? And it's a low risk. Now, XRP getting to 20, as time goes on, as these things start to get delayed, it becomes less and less likely. I said I thought XRP was going to go between 8 and 20 by this cycle. So it could be on the low end of that, 12 or even 10, right? At 261, that's not even a 4 times gain. It's roughly 3.5 times from here, which is still a great gain. I'm not saying it, but Ethereum still has the potential to go up 4 or 5 times from here. That's when I say I think Ethereum is a great, and XRP could outpace it. I'm not saying it, these are all based on probabilities. Anything could happen. But I'm just thinking that if I was going to pick 3 that we're going to do to make those type of gains going forward, it'd be Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. And it's because Ethereum is so low right now. There's a hard support line, 18% down from where we're at right now. So that means that in the worst case scenario, you lose 20% on Ethereum. Best case scenario, you make 300 and 400%. That's what we talk about risk versus reward ratios. Risk versus reward ratios. And that's what I see with Ethereum is that there's a great risk versus reward ratio there. That's why I think Ethereum is a good play right now. I'm not saying it's going to beat XRP. I'm not saying that it probably won't. But risk-wise, if you look at it risk-wise, yeah, it's a great play. It'll probably match it. But the risk on Ethereum is lower because it's close to the bottom. It can't go much lower. XRP could retract a lot. Ethereum's not going to retract past that hard support line. So that's the reason why I think Ethereum is probably a safer bet than XRP going forward. But if you ask which one has more potential long-term, XRP has more potential long-term. Who's going to make more money in the next 5 years? XRP will make more money in 5 years. Now, we're talking about until the end of this year. That's what I'm saying about Ethereum. So we're going to probably be at all-time highs in 2 to 4 months. All-time high of Ethereum was 4,700. We're way behind on that right now. So we got some super chats. Vivian said Palantir hold. I think we already answered that. We're talking about the at the end of the hour, Drew said XRP to the moon. I was zeroed out, took chunks of my bartending money between 23 and 24 and flipped it with XRP. I appreciate you putting me on. I appreciate you for supporting me, Drew. And make sure you do something substantial with that money. A lot of people get money. I'm not saying you will, but a lot of people get money and they blow it. And I've had people around me do that. Because, I mean, anybody that's been around me, and I swear to you, I'm not lying about this. I would say 80% of people who've been around me for over a year has made $1 million. Every single person. Every single person that's been around me over a year has made $1 million, has become a millionaire, just off of being around me. Now, I'm not saying I'm so great, but it's the truth. Everybody around me has made a lot of money. My best friend is now worth $7-8 million because I got him on crypto very, very early. Every business partner I ever made is a millionaire now. Everybody that's stuck around for 2 years is a millionaire now, or made or close to $1 million, one way or another. So we got some right here. We got, but the thing about those people is that some people kept their money and made even more money. Some of those people went off, went crazy, bought cars, boats, double Rolexes, spent it all. And now you're in a situation where your emotions, God, I need to get the money back, man. I spent all of it. Then you make a dumb decision, invest in something else because you need the money that you spent that you should have kept and bought, paid off your house, paid off your credit card, paid off your student loan, or invested in something that was going to pay you going forward. I bought a house in Puerto Rico. Now, I don't want to get off on too many tangents, but I think this is important because he said he made a lot of money, and I want to make sure people understand this. I want to buy a Ferrari this year. I've been talking about it for a year. And people say, why have you already bought it? You're a multi-millionaire. I know for a fact you make a lot of money. I know you do. I know I don't dress like it because I wear the same shirt every day. I don't know if y'all realize this. I got a box full of black shirts. I guess this is something rich people do. I wear it once and I throw it away or give it to Goodwill. Put it in a bag, give it to Goodwill. I only wear black shirts once. And I got a box of hundreds of them. But that's one thing that I like. I like the feel of a new shirt. I think it's the stickers on here. Let me see. Yeah, here's the sticker right here. It's a brand new shirt. But yeah, I just like wearing new shirts. Once they get over, I wear them for 6 hours, I don't want to wear it no more because they get stretched out and stuff. And I wear G-Man shirts. You get those at the hood stores. That's what I grew up on, so that's what I like. So, you know, but I wear the same clothes every day. I'm wearing like cargo pants, but normally I wear black pants. But people say, why haven't you got the Ferrari? You've been talking about it for 2 years. Now, I got the money. I can go buy a Ferrari cash money right now. It wouldn't even bother me. But instead of doing that, I've bought houses. Let me see something. So my recent purchase in Puerto Rico is it's a mansion in the jungle in Puerto Rico. Beautiful property. Right on the edge of a mountain, you look out and there's the jungle out there, the Yunque. And it cost me $280,000. Now, it's 4,000 square feet. Now, it's two reasons I bought this place. One is that I also believe I'm a little bit of a survivalist. So you go to my house, I got a whole room full of survival stuff. Bullets, food, water purification, gas mask, everything you need to get through at least 3 months of some kind of calamity. I believe that everybody should do that. It's cheap. It's not that expensive to do. But I also want a place that if something happens here, I get on a plane, fly over there, and have a kind of like a compound that's like cut off from everybody. So I'm doing it. It's got generation. It's got a power generation. It's got solar power. It's got satellite internet. I got some other stuff I got to do to it. But the key to it wasn't that. That's the secondary use. The first use is that the person that was renting it was Airbnb-ing it, making $5,000 a month, paying the person to run it like $600, $4,500 a month cash flow. So I put in $280,000, the appreciation of the property goes up, and I cash flow $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Now, I'm gonna take that money and buy the Ferrari. That's what a smart man does. Takes his money, buys an asset, lets the asset pay off the car. Now, at the end of the term, you got the car and you got the asset. You don't take your money that you made and go buy a car with it or buy a double watch. You don't do that. That's stupid. You let the assets pay off your liabilities. There's a group out there called EYL. They talk about assets over liabilities. Shout out to them. Why is this? I don't think this is charging. You got a charger over there? Give me a second. It's a white charger. Here it is right here. It's plugged up into this here. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. My iPad's running out of batteries, and I'm not going to be able to see my notes here. We're going to go a little bit over today because there's a lot to talk about. What time is it? Right now it's 11:49, so we'll go another 15, 20 minutes. So like I said, the risk versus reward, make sure, like I said, back to what I was saying, is make sure you take that money, do something substantial. Don't just blow it on liabilities. A liability is okay, but make sure you use your assets to pay for it. That's one thing Robert Croak, he's one of my good friends. We do the Crypto Trends podcast together. He's very good at teaching that type of stuff. You can't let egos get in your way. Robert teaches me a lot. He's older than me. He's ran multi-million-dollar businesses worldwide. He invented silly bands. Of course he can teach me stuff. I'm 43 years old. He's 20 years older than me. Of course he can teach me. You have to, a strong man can back down and be second place for a while and let somebody that's been there, done that, teach them. A weak man has to always be on top. A lot of people get that mixed up. A strong man can be secondary. He knows when to be secondary. He can understand that this guy knows more about this subject than I do. Or he's better at leading me in this thing than I am. Now, I'm not saying that, but he does know about products, businesses, scaling business, bringing a business to scale. He knows that more than I do. And I lean on him for that. And he also leans on me for a lot of the tech stuff when it comes to cryptocurrency and also overall technology. But you have to understand that. A weak man always has to be on top. I gotta be the man. That's weakness. It's not strength. So there is a big problem with Ethereum, is that a lot of people see that it is expensive in gas. There's a lot of structural problems. But as we've been talking about for years, is that when a technology is transformative, they will fix those problems. That's what a lot of people miss out on the biggest technologies in the world, because they don't understand that problems get fixed over time. I made a lot of money in the pandemic because it was actually one of my biggest plays I did online. Zoom, during the pandemic, got hacked by hackers. It was a huge security hole in Zoom. People were getting into corporate Zooms, government Zooms, and they were like showing porno and stuff. Zoom stock fell like 20, 30% because people panicked and thought Zoom was done. I told people, I said, look, Zoom is gonna fix those problems. You think Zoom's gonna allow their billion-dollar app, billion-dollar company, billion-dollar organization to just fall because of some porn? They're gonna put twice, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times much effort on security, and they'll be back within a month. But everybody didn't understand that. They panicked, sold. I got in real cheap, bought some options, made $180,000 on the way back up. Because people didn't understand technology will get fixed. Ethereum's gas prices will come down over time. It will become faster and more efficient over time. Just like Bitcoin will be resistant against quantum computers over time. They're not just gonna let it go because of these challenges. You have to understand that the average person has the anchor bias, which they get anchored to today, and they see all assets like an anchor, like they're stuck to the ground. They don't move. They see everything in relation to where their feet are stuck at today. A smart person is able to take a step forward and see it. Well, things look a little different now. Take another step. Wow, it's getting a lot better now. Take another step. Because they're moving along with the times. The anchor bias will cause you to set your feet in one place and not see what's coming. Say, well, today, Ethereum's gas prices are expensive. So it will always be expensive. So I can't invest in it. A person that's stepping forward says, well, they're expensive now, but they're working on it. They will work on it. All technology gets faster and cheaper. And they'll go to, oh yeah, it is getting fast. Look at what they're doing. They're doing updates. Vitalik is talking about changing these structures. Then the next step, well, you know, a lot of these cryptos are getting fat. Then that's how you see things. That's how you make money going forward. The anchor buys cause you to stay in one place. Technology will move forward, but you will be stuck. So with Ethereum's rise, we will be ushering in altcoin season. Before we continue on that, if you're just joining the channel, please subscribe to the channel and please like the video if you could. We do a lot of great things. We drop a lot of knowledge and insider knowledge on XRP crypto tech stocks. That's all we talk about. We don't talk about Coca-Cola or nothing like that. Is the audio better today? Because we've changed some of the audio settings to see if this works better. Let me see what you guys say in the chat. Drew, I appreciate the super chat. I think I already told you. So we got 2 minutes left on that if we're going to drop that play. So we don't have enough super chats. We got 2 minutes left. So make sure you drop those super chats. Also join the CNC. Somebody put the CNC. I'll put it here. I'll put the CNC's, this is the URL. So go there. So altcoin season is the time in which Bitcoin dominance goes up over 60 or close to 60%, and then money starts to flow into altcoins. Any coin that's not Bitcoin is an altcoin. The number one altcoin is Ethereum. So think of it like a scale. Bitcoin dominance right now. Bitcoin dominance, let me talk about what it is first, because I talked about it last night, but I want to say it again. Bitcoin dominance is a metric in which people try to analyze the market and see how much of the overall cryptocurrency market cap does Bitcoin take up. Market cap is good for comparison. It's good for situations like this. It's not good to limit cryptocurrencies. Say it can't go to this place because of market cap. Now, market cap is good for things like this. So you say all of crypto's market cap right now is $3 trillion, right? All of crypto's market cap is $3 trillion. That's every crypto in existence. Now, how much is Bitcoin's? Bitcoin is $1.7 trillion. So that puts Bitcoin's dominance at 60.2% of the overall crypto market cap. Now, that's a number that's been traditionally attached to the beginning of altcoin season. The way Bitcoin has worked in every cycle is that there's the Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin does extraordinarily well after the halving. People take those gains that they made in Bitcoin and they start looking for different opportunities. So they start taking that money and putting it into altcoins. Now think of it like a scale. The scale is even at first, at the halving. Now imagine this is Bitcoin, this is altcoins, right? So people put all their money on this. So the coin, it starts to go down, right? So the scale becomes unbalanced. So now, all of a sudden, that money that's piled up into Bitcoin, it becomes too much. So people start taking it off rapidly. So boom, the money starts, as the scale gets higher, the money starts flowing over to this side. So finally, a lot of the money flows over to the altcoins. That's how altcoin season works conceptually. But we're on the cusp of that right now because Ethereum's at its close to all-time lows. Whenever we got this, a major support line, 20% from a major support line. Anytime we've gotten this close historically, Ethereum has outpaced Bitcoin going forward, and that's a sign or a signifier of altcoin season because Ethereum is the number one altcoin. 30, 40, maybe even 50% of all altcoins are built on Ethereum. Now a lot are built on Solana as well. So Ethereum is the market driver in altcoins. So with Trump's crypto reserve that's legalized and legitimized cryptocurrency, and with the dropping of the SEC lawsuit in the next 2 weeks, we're going to see retail FOMO incoming. Fresh capital into the market. Altcoins are set to explode. Bitcoin is going to start to stabilize after all the hack and all this other stuff, Trump's election. Investors will start to rotate into high growth altcoins, especially AI. Somebody asked me about ASI. ASI is still going to do good. It's just not altcoin season yet. AI and I hate to say this, but a lot of meme coins going to do well. I hate meme coins, except for probably Dogecoin and Shiba, but I detest meme coins. The SEC actually said they weren't securities last week. I thought that was a horrible decision, but Trump dropped a meme coin, so what else could they say? But meme coins will probably do well this cycle, but you have to be careful. I will invest in a meme. I'm sorry, I'm change that word. I will gamble with a meme coin, but only the same way I would gamble at a blackjack table. Put the money down. Let's see what happens. 21, yay. You busted. I'm sorry, sir. Blackjack is a roughly 48, 49% win rate. It's the best, actually in the casino, it's the best win rate you could have. If you play it 100% the right way, it's still like 48, 49%. If you play it the right way, you got like a 51, 52% chance of winning. That's how you count cards in blackjack. But if you don't play it well, it's like a 48% chance, 47. So it's the best, highest odds game in there. It's almost 50-50. But that's why I'm saying, you look at it like a gamble, put the money in, well, I'll probably lose it. Let's see what happens. That's what I did with Melania coin, Trump's wife's coin. Let's see what happens. But I want to finish talking about SoundHound, and we're going to talk about Palantir, and we're going to talk about, what else somebody said? NVIDIA. But before we do that, I want to get into this interview with my good friend Frank Holmes from Hive Mining. He's the co-founder and former CEO of Hive Mining. He still owns a huge amount he still has a big interest in Hive Mining. Hive Mining is one of the biggest crypto mining companies or one of the most efficient crypto mining companies on the United States. They just moved to Austin, Texas, where they get cheaper electricity and more favorable, I guess, city ordinances or whatever. So they just moved to Texas. So I want to share with you the interview I did with him on Friday. So let's go ahead and play that interview. We got my good friend Frank Holmes here, the co-founder of Hive Mining, the first crypto mining company to go public. How you doing today, Frank?
Outstanding, my friend. And I'm very bullish because markets are selling out big, so I have to remind everyone.
I like that. We know he's bullish, right?
Buy that dip, stock them and hodl. And we are down, Armando. We're down 1.7 standard deviations over trading 20 days. And what does that mean? Over 5 years of data, that means we're at a 90% probability over 20 days it goes up. And over 60 trading days, which is a different type of elasticity of trading and emotional sentiment, we're down about 0.8 standard deviations. So once you go down one standard deviation, the math really starts becoming compelling over the next 60 days and 20 days to get a rebound. So I think that we're getting close to that by the territory.
All right. So in 2020, 21, I agree with you. I think that Bitcoin specifically and crypto in general is going to go up. I think this is just a short-term setback. I think that people are just panicking, because of the hack that happened with Bybit. But I do believe that I agree with you 100%. I think that we're on the way for a hard rebound. There was a panic oversell, and I think we're going to rebound. So in 2020, 21, companies like Hive did very well when Bitcoin's price skyrocketed, right? And we're not seeing that as much this time. So I want your insights on that, because I got this question all the time. It's like, what happened to why the mining companies aren't going up like they did in 2021?
Well, I think one of the things is they all try to copy MicroStrategy, and they start doing these convertible notes. And the buyers of the convertible notes are hedge funds that really don't believe in Bitcoin. They believe it's a trend and it's a trade. So they have a quantitative mathematical model that says I can leverage if it's a debenture, and I want to get short the stock. So you can see on some of these numbers, like they come out with, we raised $750 million, but we turned around and we bought back stock. Well, why do they buy back stock? Because the guys are shorting their stock. They always short against it. And I've been frustrated about this because they're shorting also Hive because there's not enough position. So if we look at the total market cap of all the Bitcoin miners of 3 weeks ago, it was like 25 billion. Well, they were doing these deals at $1 billion a week. And so the amount of shorting by these characters are out there only suppress them and create a dislocation between the Bitcoin miners and where Bitcoin price is. So we found that we were a source of liquidity for these characters who are shorting against the industry to go along these convertibles. MicroStrategy is a complete different animal in doing this because they don't spend big money to buy equipment. If you go to raise a lot of money to go buy more equipment and you use these converts to buy more Bitcoin, you end up creating more stock. So if you look at the math says the dilution has been huge, in particular for the crypto mining companies by issuing stock faster than they've either hodled or they've been able to increase their production.
Yeah, so MicroStrategy to me is more like a trust. I mean, they don't have a lot of overhead, mostly administrative. They don't have to buy equipment. So yeah, so I really don't, I'm a little bit like antsy about MicroStrategy going forward. I think that they are selling it, they are trading at a premium, and we know premiums collapse eventually. So I think that I would rather go with a mining company because I believe that the mining companies have sustainable business growth going forward, and it's not that big premium on top yet. I think it will come, but it's not there yet. I think that mining companies actually have a better potential going forward. So you guys moved to San Antonio, right?
Right. We moved to San Antonio, and that trend and the reason for that, it's a big picture. But one is about feeling safer. And we feel much safer now in America under the new political leadership. That is pro blockchain, pro crypto. That's very, very significant because the overreaching by big, powerful government agencies in many countries in the world has been incredible. We've experienced this in Sweden, where they don't care about the law. They just, we can go after Bitcoin. And you can see the agencies, how they use centralized media. We saw this in Canada, where they used the accounting board to weaponize to go after anyone in this space in 2018. Now, all of a sudden, America is a safe jurisdiction. And that's a big reason, okay, we're going to be here. There's another important part of that puzzle, and that is your cost of capital if you're financing. And the cost of capital is less expensive in America if you are able to get into the indexes. So you can see the Hut 8s, they produce less Bitcoin than us, but their stock went up dramatically. And you say, why? It's because they moved to Miami, but they changed the ability that now they could get into the Russell 2000. And those indexes are huge. And so you see that was a very smart move by them to turn around to get index buying. It's really not Bitcoin advocates as much, just index buying. We saw last year Palantir leave the New York Stock Exchange to go to the NASDAQ because they then qualified to go to the QQQ. Well, that made the stock go up 80% also. So it's about getting liquidity. We're seeing now the second biggest gold mining company in the world, Barrick. It used to be 1% of the America's S&P 500 stock exchange. They went to Canada. Now they're coming back. And if they go into that index, then all of a sudden they'll get a new valuation and a rating because so much money is indexed. So we feel safer about coming back into America. We feel that our job for the shareholders get a lower cost of capital. And we feel now is the time. And we have not done anything in the U.S., but now we will. And in that journey, it's been a challenge to getting green energy. It's always been our focus. So we this rapid expansion in Paraguay. And now we're going to look back into the U.S. at this. You saw Coinbase last week come out with the news that the SEC is backing away on the assault of Coinbase, which all comes from the previous leadership, Gary Gensler. Our SEC lawyers told us that he created more than 50 laws that Congress never asked on. So he basically was taking on huge amount of the legal department to create laws that he wanted on his own. And that's not what the agencies are. So I think we're going to swing back to the middle of what the great reputations of the SEC are all about. And I think that's positive.
There was a lot of overreach by the SEC the last 4 or 5 years, and like even with XRP, even with Coinbase, none of those cases to me from the beginning had any hope in being successful. I think it was done to maybe slow down the market or cause confusion. It was something I think I would just go down a conspiracy path here, but sinister or maybe some type of manipulation. That's my opinion. So in the next year, right? We got this is 2025. The halving was in May of 24. What do you think? What big shifts do you think would have to happen or are going to happen that's going to get mass retail involved? We haven't seen retail involvement like we've seen before in previous cycles. What do you think? What catalyst or what trigger or what do you think other than the price going up is going to cause mass retail to come into the market?
I think it's education. I regularly in my fund business talk to registered investment advisors, and now it's unprecedented the amount of money last year went into the Bitcoin ETFs.
Yeah.
And it's amazing they bought it only because a price. They didn't really understand about scarcity. They didn't understand Metcalfe's law that says if you do limited 21 million coins, the greater the adoption, the higher the price will go exponentially. Like Moore's law is the inverse to that. Metcalfe's law is about price appreciation. So these are, they're just not aware, but they're sophisticated people, Armando. These are,
Yeah.
they're highly educated about wealth management advisory. The other part, which really surprised me, is they didn't know that one Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis. And that when you go buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin at Robinhood, you're really buying about 1 million Satoshis. And one Satoshi is 0.00067 cents, whatever it is, that it's always much less than a cent. And then at 1 penny, a Satoshi at 1 penny makes Bitcoin worth 1 million. That little math is not resonated with what I was surprised with such sophisticated people, that we do know that they're coming in to buy, say, HODL, the next ETF. They come in to buy $1,000, they're buying 1 million Satoshis. If they bought $10,000 worth, all of a sudden they're buying 10 million Satoshis. Do they understand it's like buying a penny stock and you're betting it to go up tenfold because you see why Metcalfe's law kicks in, they would take it. Do you see that? No. So I think this year will be the great year of education and what we're witnessing is sort of the overlap of one metaverse, the 34, they call it the 1934 Securities Act of stocks and bonds and trading and securities is now merging with the metaverse and the ecosystem of crypto. And with that, you're just going to get this greater volatility coming, but it will change when we get clarity on the regulatory direction of where they're going.
So I agree with you. I think that the retail investor, even at $100,000, I think that Bitcoin is the number is too big for the average person to like conceptualize. And that keeps a lot of people come to me and say, I don't have 100,000. And I say, well, you have to, whenever you have to explain something to somebody, you already lost them halfway. They have to know it just by hearing it. So when do you think we'll denominate in Satoshis? Like how long? Like 5 years, 10 years, 1 year? Before I think that eventually the market will have to. It's like a stock split. If the stock gets too high, they have to split the stock in order to bring regular people and increase liquidity. So in order to increase liquidity in Bitcoin, in order to get everybody involved, I think that they're going to be forced to bring that down to a lower denomination, which is Satoshis. So when do you think that'll happen?
Yeah, exactly that. And I think when Warren Buffett did that a long time ago with creating a B-class stock, it was a smaller denomination. And it's just a fraction mathematical of the main holding company. And that's what they did. I think as more people realize that 1 million Satoshis right now is $1,000 and you're buying the greatest penny stock. And so now we want to speculate on $10,000 going to 100,000 for your kids' education. Then you're buying 10 million Satoshis. And they have to recognize that. And so when Bitcoin hits $1 million, that Satoshi is actually going to be worth a penny, only a penny. But I think that we're going to see this change. And it's just people listening to your show and being more informed that they're buying Satoshis right now and putting away 10,000 for their kids' education is not a big risk for the potential return to pay for their education. And with the math suggests to go higher. So they don't have to be starstruck about, oh, Bitcoin's $90,000. I don't have $90,000.
The last question. Now that's another, Al Gore said, and I remember she said about the Clinton administration opening up the internet and telecommunications. That was a famous quote by Al Gore that said he invented the internet. Yeah, but that's really what he was referring to. People don't know that. It was a joke for, back in the early 2000s. But his last question.
He was running for president then, so yeah, that's how we did it.
Last question. Give me one big prediction of where you think the crypto market or Bitcoin specifically is going before the end of the year.
Oh, I think it has a very high probability of going to 200 and 250,000. We are going through one of those normal corrections. I mentioned at the beginning that we were up 2 standard deviations over 20 trading days only a month and a half ago. So we fell back to the mean. Now we've gone below that. When it goes back above and goes up 2 standard deviations from these levels, we'll then run to 140. And we're the only crypto mining company right now this year that has a 400% embedded growth rate because we announced buying Bitfarms operations, majority of their operations in Paraguay.
That's pretty cool. It's always a pleasure. I agree with you on the 200, 250 by the end of the year. I've always feel more confident that we're a lot of times in accord with our predictions. So like I said, thank you for joining. I appreciate your time and I hope to have you on soon.
And look up
and get
don't forget, stay bullish.
Yeah, I love the bull. It was a cute bull that his granddaughter gave him. It's a symbol of Bitcoin going up over the next few months or in the future. The bull is a symbol in financial markets of markets moving forward and going up in value. Bears are the opposite. So I love Frank. He's a great friend, and I was glad he was able to stop by and go over where he sees crypto mining and overall crypto market. So like I said, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. We're going to start bringing on guests like this a lot going forward. We're going to bring some celebrities. We're going to bring some, I know you guys, like celebrities they're not just all just actors. They do have some intellectual people out there. There's some athletes out there athletes that took their pay in Bitcoin. These people know a ridiculous amount about cryptocurrency. We're going to try to get Kathy Woods to come down and do it in live. We're still trying to talk to her. We're going to bring Robert Croak on one day. We can get him over here. Because this is actually in Clearwater. He's in St. Pete. So, but like I said, this show is going to be great. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel and also like the video. So the last thing, 2 things we're going to talk about is AI, where it's going. We're going to talk about SoundHound and NVIDIA. So SoundHound went up 14% last week after their earnings and after many analysts saw those earnings and raised their targets of SoundHound to $26 to $32. So let's take a look at SoundHound right now. So SoundHound stock today is at 1122. We said 2 weeks ago on the in the CNC, that if we saw sustained movement over $11, that's a confirmed uptrend. So we're probably in a confirmed uptrend right now. That's going to put SoundHound in the next 6 months, maybe even a year, at around $26 to $32. Those are the targets I have. And a lot of analysts also agree with that. SoundHound may have some volatility short term because many people feel like that AI may be in a bubble. People are antsy. There's a lot of news hitting the airways, hitting the media this week. Unemployment numbers, a lot of other government numbers are coming out this week. So people are antsy, don't know what to think of all this stuff. There's a lot of, in the government, Doge is firing a lot of people. So there's a lot of uncertainty. So SoundHound could see some short-term volatility. Long-term, more than likely going $26, $32 is the price target. I think long-term it could go a lot farther than that 5-10 years from now. So last thing I want to talk about, somebody asked me about Palantir. Palantir is probably going to continue to retract. I haven't looked at it today. Let's see where Palantir is at today. Palantir is being attacked by shorts right now. It's at 5% up, $89. We took a 30% retraction. Palantir probably will hit at some points in the 60s or maybe even 70s. Long-term, Palantir is still a good play. We're still going to see it go past the all-time highs, which is around 125. It's still good. And it may not even go that low. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think it will. I think we got a 70% chance of it retracting down into the 60s, 70s at some point. It's a good day today, but tomorrow could be a bad day. But I do believe that we're going to see a retraction down into the 70s or 60s, even in the 60s, maybe even lower. But I think that long term, when we hit that retraction, it's going to bounce back up. And over a few months, maybe even a few years, we're going to be well past 125 we were before. We're going to be at $200, $300 with Palantir. I tell you this because there's 2 or 3 things you can do. You can sell your profit, because a lot of you got in at $6 when we called it out 2023, end of 23. A lot of you got in at $6, $4, $5. So you up, a ridiculous amount right now. 25 times. Yeah, not that much. 20 times. No, not that much. Like 15. Let's see, 5, 6 times 15. Yeah, you're probably up like 20 times right now. No, it's 10 times. Yeah, it's like 12 times, sorry. You're up 12 times right now. You can sell it, you can get out, take your profits, do something with it, or you can hold it and wait for it to go back to all-time highs, because it most certainly probably will. Or you could just hold it, wait. Or you could sell, you could buy more, dollar cost average in when it drops, or you could just hold. It's up to you. I'm just telling you where I think it's going so that you won't panic when you see it happening. That's why knowledge is so important, is because that's why you practice in sports. You practice different scenarios. So at game time, when those scenarios happen, you're not panicked. And I always tell people this, is that if you fight somebody, or you play basketball, you play sports, or whatever, the person who is the most dangerous is the calm person. You're going to fight somebody in the street. Now, I've been in a fight since I was 21, 20-something years. But if you're going to fight somebody in the street, the dude that's panicked, sweating, that's beating his chest, that's not the dude you're afraid of. You're afraid of the dude over there that's calm, taking off his shirt and folding it up. The dude that just calm and just stretches out. The dude that does that, that's the dangerous dude. It's not the panic dude that's beating his chest, going nuts. He's trying to hype himself up. Other dude is calm. He's been in this situation before. That's the dude that you need to be afraid of. When I was in high school, there was a dude I grew up with, and he was always in fights, man. Always in fights. And I remember one time I saw him fighting. I went to Montgomery Central High School in Clarksville, Tennessee. And I remember he was in a fight. Now, that's when I realized that the calm person is the one that's going to win. So he was fighting some dude. Dude comes running at him, right? So the dude's punching him. So the dude's taking hits in his head. Boom, 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 boom. And I see him reach down. I'm like, what is he doing? He's like reaching down. So he grabs the dude's shirt, and he's calm now. He just pulls it over his dude's head. And then once the dude had his shirt over his head, he just beat the dude to a pulp. And I was like, God, that's crazy. He was calm. That's why he won that fight. He took the punches. He's been in this situation 30 times before. So he knew if he got the shirt over the dude's head, he couldn't see and he'd win the fight. He would take a short-term loss for a long-term win. I'm not saying fighting is right. A lot of times I tell you analogies that just come to my head from my life. So if it's a Bible quote or whatever, remember I grew up in the church. I'm not being preachy. I don't really believe in mixing Christianity and business. I think people that do that are 9 times out of 10 scamming you. I don't believe that you, hey, I'm a preacher. I'm a minister. Buy my item. That's a scam. Dude is scamming you. That's why he was more likely to say he's a, well, nobody said that, okay, even nobody comes up to you and says, hey, you need a new roof on your house? I'm just letting you know I would never rip you off. I'm a Christian. Like, why are we talking about ripping off? I mean, a good person, you don't have to be a Christian not to rip somebody off. You can be a Muslim, Jew. You can just be an atheist. Or just a good human being and don't rip nobody off. They're setting you up for something. That's the reason why they're saying, I'm a Christian. I would never steal your money. Yeah, they're setting you up for the scam. Otherwise, you don't even mention it. My uncle's a pastor. He's a very rich man. He never talks about Christianity in business. You wouldn't even know he's a pastor. So, back to what I was saying is that NVIDIA is the last question. I got to head out. Got some other stuff to do today. NVIDIA, I believe, is still going to do, NVIDIA will probably do 8 times from here eventually, over time, maybe 7 times. Now, it may take 10 years. NVIDIA is still I actually thought NVIDIA would have competitors by now, but they don't, not really. And they're also working on AI models. They're also working on faster, more efficient chips. They're also working on quantum computation. I think NVIDIA is going to do 7, 8 times from here. Now, again, the AI bubble will eventually burst this year, next year, or the year after. I don't know. But, and a lot of these AI stocks will retract deeply, like the dot-com boom. But a lot of people panic. They may come down 40, 50, maybe even 60, 70%. But over time, they will go back to their all-time high slowly, and they will surpass them greatly. And that's where I see SoundHound, that's where I see Palantir, and that's where I see NVIDIA. Now, each one of those cases will reach it in a different way. SoundHound will probably go up in the next few months to $26 to $32. Palantir may take some losses on the way in correction or retraction, and then come out of that retraction and do well over a longer period. NVIDIA, even a longer period, they will get caught up in an AI bubble, but they still will do well over the next 5 to 10 years. They're all going to do well, just in 3 different ways, because of the market cap, how big the companies are, the type of AI that they do, where they fit in the AI ecosystem. NVIDIA is a hardware company. They're at the base. Palantir is on the second level, software. SoundHound is on the second level too, but they're a little bit higher than Palantir. Palantir has government contracts, which are more or less guaranteed. I don't think SoundHound has any of that right now. So that's the reason why each one will get there at a different way. I appreciate you guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And like the video. I'll see you on Wednesday.